All right, you guys, welcome back this week to the Love Frequency Podcast, where we turn pain into power. And I feel like it's been a minute. I feel like I went on vacation and I don't know what happened, but I've been really busy, y'all. This week, the cards are not going to necessarily be a card, but I'm going to talk about Rahu and Ketu, which is Vedic astrology, which is part of my card deck that's being released this year, 2026. So stay tuned, you guys. All right, you guys, welcome back this week to the Love Frequency Podcast. So, as mentioned, I feel like it's been a minute since I talked to you guys, but I've been on vacation. I've been having a good time. I've been busy with business stuff, wrapping up last minute things for 2026. And I know 2026 is early, but releases for June of this year. So I feel like I haven't released anything, but I wanted to quickly jump on here per usual and talk about this week people that stuck on their exes. I don't know why that came up. It was so funny because when I was on vacation, just girls talking and everybody just have this thing about their exes and dating and meeting people and how some people, women and men, just everybody, I was, conversing with so many people, meeting so many people in Houston, and everyone always says it's hard dating because so many people are stuck on the exes. And I just want to know, why are you guys so stuck on your ex? Question mark. What's the problem? A lot of times, and I'm not to be funny, not to joke around, but I love to ask people this question. I feel like I'm repetitive when I say this, but what do I always say, you guys? Do you see yourself marrying this person? Do you see yourself with this person long term? Let's say maybe you don't want to get married. Do you see yourself with this person long term? Do you want to have kids? If you want to have kids, do you see yourself a future? If not, I need to know, why are you guys stuck on your ex? Because I feel like a lot of that is ego-based. And in my card deck that's being released this year, it talks about that. There's actually a card in there called The Ego. And it's specifically, the card deck touches on shadow work, love, things that we need to heal within ourselves. I specifically wanted to create this card deck a little bit differently than what a lot of people are used to, because a lot of it starts with ourselves. We have to really ask ourselves, is this an ego thing because you're no longer with this person and you don't want to see them with somebody else? Or do you genuinely love your ex and want to be with them? Because at the end of the day, an ex is the ex for a reason. We love Ashanti and Nelly. I'm going to use them. Great example. But most people don't have that love story. I know a few people, family and friends recently. I tried it once, almost, but we didn't get to that point. So it was almost at that point where one time in my life where I was considering going back to an ex. But the funny thing about it, nothing changed. It would have been the same thing. So I had to really ask myself, is this the ego thing to loyalty? Being loyal to someone because you have history, because both of you guys are codependent, or one person is dependent on you. Whatever the case may be, we have to really do some soul searching. We really have to get into some therapy, and we really have to look within ourselves. And I know some people may not want to hear this, but a lot of it starts with you, and you have to really blame yourself. If you feel like exes did this or somebody did that, it's not just one person that did it. We both failed this relationship. We both failed this marriage. You have to look within. I don't care if you have to go to therapy or seek other spiritual advice, but really see what made you like that person. What made you fall in love? What made you want to stay that long? What made you want to continue this on 5-10 years? Because some of y'all be stuck in these relationships for 5-10 years and y'all know y'all don't want to marry this person, which is diabolical to me. So if you really want a good love going forward, y'all got to really start doing some healing. We all have to start doing some healing and therapy. And you know what? That's why I started my podcast too. That's why I started the tarot deck. That's why I started a lot of the movement, because I realized at that point when I was going to backtrack on this relationship, what value is any of my exes providing for me? And just so you guys know, I'm not the type of person to backtrack on any relationship. That was the only one that I was going to consider. But luckily that lasted 2 days. So thank God that I didn't, like some people, keep going back and forth. Luckily, I'm here on the island and they're on the mainland. So it makes it harder for somebody to hop on a plane to get back to Hawaii. So I feel like it was just so much easier, a decision. Stay where you at. But it's crazy how many people I come across that really be stuck on their exits. And there's so many great people out here. Give that new person a chance. And even if you do backtrack on, let's say, a relationship, give it some time, give it a few years. Do you really think somebody has changed in a few months? Let's just be real. So that's why I blame a lot of y'all. And that's why my tarot deck, you will see boundaries is another card. The ego is another card. Shadow work, sacred union, stuff like that. We have the divine masculine. And I'm going to get in Rahu and Ketu a little bit, but I really I'm going to brush up on them. As far as the two cards, I'm going to try to show them, but I want to talk about how Rahu and Ketu can really change your life, because it really changed my life. And if you think about it, in the Western, Rahu is considered the North Node. Ketu is considered the South Node. So that would really help you guys heal and really figure out what's going on in your life, why you keep attracting certain things, people, places, whatever, to really turn things around in a positive aspect, okay? And some of y'all be stuck on these exes and they ain't got no health insurance. They ain't got no savings in the bank. They missing a side teeth. You feel me? You know what I mean? They're not spiritually whatever. And it's not to talk about people, because we all are learning. And I'm that person too. It took me a long time. Y'all got to understand, I'm in my 40s. So it took me a long time to really help people and really say, no, I'm going to help this person. I'm going to do that. And my mother used to always tell me, how long are you going to do this? Where is it going to become a point in your life where you take care of yourself? And you know what happened to me? Once again, this is why I started the Love Frequency. This is why I started the tarot deck. And when y'all see the tarot deck, y'all going to love it. It's so beautiful. But it took me losing my mother. It took me losing things. It took me going to the island, a place like Hawaii, to isolate and really lose people that I love. My mother was my rock, my anchor, to really say, really look at these people. What are they adding to your life? What value do they have? And once I really went to therapy and started really looking at the bigger picture, and honestly, some of y'all may not like tarot or astrology, but once I started digging into my birth chart and stuff, wow, this is really what destined. And until I learned a lesson, I'm going to continue to attract certain type of people, because what happens when you attract certain type of people, they help you grow, they help you learn, they help you realize, I don't want that, I do want this. That's the whole purpose of relationships in life. Don't just think of relationships like intimate relationships either. Relationships can be friendships that you have come into your life. They come and go. Relationships can be family relationships that you have with your family, whether they're positive or negative. Relationships can mean so many different aspects. So that's why I try to get into the aspect of tarot and astrology, because it really will help you understand, why am I wired this way? Why am I wired this way? So once I really, like I said, went to therapy, really started learning certain things, I realized that for me, my Rahu is in the 7th house. And I'm not going to get too much in depth into it, because I'm going to use my birth chart next week. So you guys stay tuned next week. I'm going to go in depth with North Node, South Node, which is basically Rahu Ketu. Is going to really help you understand, why do I keep attracting certain people? Why am I wired this way? And for me, it all boiled down to relationships with others, because my Rahu is in the 7th house. So for me, I am learning to love myself, because Rahu, what's the opposite of the 7th house? First house. My Ketu is in the 1st house. So what is that teaching me? When you get into these relationships, they may treat you a certain type of way. When does it come a point where you give yourself self-love? And the type of people that I was attracting, they were the type of people that love themselves. You see what I mean? The universe will send you certain people, whether that be fire signs, air signs, or whatever, to teach you a lesson, to teach you how to grow and love yourself and really step into your power. That's what we're learning. That's what we're here on earth to do. We're here to learn ourselves. We're here to learn and collaborate with other people and help the world, if that's something that's in your chart. For somebody with Rahu in the 6th house, Rahu in the 12th house, service to others. Like, when you think of service to others, you think of like preachers like Gandhi or somebody that's on a spiritual path like that. So like I said, not to get too in depth, but if you do have Rahu Ketu in 6 and 12, that's very deep. If I see that in someone's chart, I automatically assume that they are giving some type of service to others. And they may not necessarily neglect themselves, but in a sense they do, because they're always giving to others. Not to steer it, but a lot of y'all be stuck on these exes. They're not adding value to your life. They don't like to travel. They ain't got no money in the bank. They ain't got no health insurance. They ain't got no dental insurance. They're missing a side tooth. They abusive to you, but yet you're willing to go back to them, cook them dinner. Meanwhile, you're the one hustling and doing all this stuff. Why do you want that type of stress in your life, people? You really got to add it up. This is an X for a reason. You don't need that stress. Let me tell y'all, stress causes disease. Stress causes illness. Stress will make you sick, depressed, and everything else. And if you're sick and depressed, how are you going to handle your business or help people in the world? Something that you said you wanted to do. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because when I speak to people, they tell me, I want to do this. I want to start a business. I want to help people. I want to open up a charity organization, but I'm dealing with this abusive man, or I'm dealing with this abusive woman, or I'm dealing with this toxic relationship. How are you going to accomplish any of that when you have people that's in your circle, sleeping in your bed every night, or around you that's negative, that's not adding any positive value in your life? Write it down, y'all. Write this shit down. What value are they adding? And once I started realizing for myself, none of these people, sorry, I was just getting a call. None of these people were adding to my life. None of these people said, hey, let me give you not even $100 for your business. Let me help you with the house. I bought a house here in Hawaii. You think someone, and I'm not going to say someone, but y'all get the picture. Nobody was like, oh, let me give you at least $100 for the down payment, or let me help you with this, or let me add this value. No, people just sat around and I allowed it. The keyword, I allowed it. I didn't have to accept that. You don't have to accept that type of stuff. So to wrap it up and not make this long, a lot of y'all be stuck on your exes that's not even really going nowhere in life. And if you don't believe me, look, can you tell me a list of any of your exes that has elevated since y'all broke up? Think about the ex from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever the case may be. Well, where are they in life right now? How they elevated? Are they positive? What have they done for society, for themselves? Are they working out? And when I say for themselves, are they taking care of themselves? You know what I'm saying? So these are the people that y'all choosing to circle back on. Meanwhile, it's so many other people out there in the world that's beautiful. And I want to add this one last thing. For those who have Rahu in the 12th house, some people don't like that placement, but really it's a beautiful placement. Really, and I'm going to get in depth with the next reading, you guys. So stay tuned and return back to the love frequency. But for those who have Rahu in the 12th house, I think that's a very deep house to have. It tells me that you're on a spiritual journey in this lifetime. You're someone that help others, as I mentioned. But also, some people don't like to hear this. Rahu in the 12th is a prison. And I feel like some of us get ourselves in a prison. And when you think of 12th house, you think of prisons, jails, medical institutions. Look this up, you guys. But what's the symbolic behind that? Nobody said it could be physically you in a mental institution. It could be physically you're in a hospital. But I don't like that. I'm not a negative person. Let's not think negative. What is the other symbolic meaning of that? Meaning when things are not going good for Rahu in the 12th house people. A prison, you could put yourself in a prison in your mind. You could put yourself in a prison by staying in relationships too long, being in relationships that you're not supposed to be in. And now you're in a prison for that day. Now you're not doing your spiritual calling. You're isolating yourself. So people in that place isolate themselves a lot. And I'm bringing up Rahu in the 12th because I feel like in some form or way, we all do it. And once I realized myself that I was putting my own self in a prison mentally, I wasn't able to do certain things. But because I have Rahu in the 7th house, I'm able to get myself out of that. But I feel bad for some people who do have Rahu in the 12th because that is an isolation. People who meditate, heavily meditate. They're in a meditation mode. Like I said, Gandhi has this placement. So if something or negative people are around you, what are you going to do? Isolate yourself, go into some type of deep meditation. And that is a prison where you have to get somebody out of that prison in their mind. What's that movie? X-Men. Remember how the doctor, he was able to go inside the Phoenix, her mind, because she couldn't control her mind. So somebody with a Rahu in the 12th, I would say more like the Phoenix type X-Men, where she couldn't control her gifts. She went inside her head. So what did he have to do? By him understanding the 12th house and spirituality, he said, let me go help you. Let me go inside your mind, get you out of your own prison, get you unstuck out of your own mental capacity so that you can help yourself. So I say that to say, and I use that as an example, is because some of these people, y'all in these relationships that put y'all in a prison of the mind. Nobody said you had to go to actual prison. Once you start learning astrology and stuff, nobody said that. So that's my take on Rahu Ketu. That's my take on exes. I think you guys, some of y'all could do better. This is the year of growing. Don't let certain people, when I say relationships, that goes to family too. Don't let people keep you in that prison of the mind. Stay tuned.